Hey, everybody, welcome back to Shit Creek Survivors, where we share stories of resilience and tools for resilience. Today, Dennis is going to share a story of actually getting out in the world and trying a new thing. It's always one thing to talk about how things are going to go, but until you get there and the rubber meets the road, it's all just talk. Let's congratulate Dennis on getting that out there and getting a couple things done. And without further ado, here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a great episode for you today because not only do we tell people to get out there and do stuff, but we put our, what is it? Money where our mouth is.
Sure, yeah.
And to,
That's
and
exactly what this
today,
episode is about.
yeah, and today we are going to be blessed with a story from Dennis about him getting himself out there, trying a new thing, finding personal growth in the moment and post moment. And we're just going to
and
kind of talk about it.
and
And
trying to put some of those stories of resilience into play too,
absolutely, buddy. Like
we
things, it's
still
not
have
like,
we still have crises. We still have bad days. We still have days where like things just don't fall into place the way they're supposed to, and then you react poorly to it, and then it snowballs and gets worse and worse.
yeah,
And
I think
none of us are
sometimes
ever
like,
going to be above it. We're never. It's always just like needing the daily quotes every day to keep the fire going, to cook the new nutritious meals for you every day. You also need to get out there, put yourself in positions, fail. It's okay to fail. You just got to learn from it. But I failed miserably this week.
and I think sometimes we can talk so much about like, oh, I'm going to have my mind right. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's
Right,
all
right.
about the preparation, all that kind of stuff. But when the rubber hits the road, when you actually do the thing, it's not like a guaranteed yay or nay, this is going to work out or not work out. It's like now you're in the arena. Now the
Right, right,
game
right.
starts. And
And honestly,
it,
I mean, what did I say all along going into it? I didn't have delusions of grandeur. I wasn't thinking like, hey, I'm going to go win this and this is going to be my coming out, oh, now I'm finally going to know what I'm supposed to do the rest of my life or anything like that.
right.
I had the goal of finishing last, but respectfully, and some, like
Okay.
5 strokes away from the next lowest person, maybe would be great. That would have been a win, just to
So
see what it's like.
what are we
Yeah,
talking
okay,
about?
we got to back up a little bit. Sorry.
So,
Well, first off, we got to talk. We're talking about basically that in life we still have struggles, and I've got 2 stories to tell. I'll tell you the first one quick. Is moving my mom. Moving my
okay.
mom from down in Texas up to Missouri
This was recently?
recently. This was just 2 weekends ago. So last week, this weekend was golf. The weekend before was moving my mom.
I love it.
And the U-Haul trailer had 2 flat tires, 2 different times. Well,
Wait,
we were
hold
supposed
on.
to be home. We were supposed to be back in St. Louis around 9:30 at night, from the way the trip plan was going. We didn't make it
Wait,
till
so
4.
So you went down to Texas to get your mom to help her move,
Yeah, she sold her house
and
out in Texas, and she's moving back to Missouri after my stepdad passed. She decided she wanted to move back closer to home and home friends and stuff like that.
got you. So did you have like a U-Haul truck, or was it like a
It was a
trailer you were
trailer.
hauling?
This is a whole nother issue. If my mom's watching, yeah, I'll go ahead and mention it. She wanted to get the truck because she knew all the stuff that she had that would fit in it.
Right.
So I was communicating with her by phone, like, how many rooms worth of stuff are you going to put in this truck? Because I want to try to do it with the trailer. Because I was thinking of flying down in 2 weeks and getting the truck. I was probably going to spend a lot more on the flight and the truck than I would on a trailer and gas.
Right.
There was a thought process anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, in typical miscommunication fashions, I'm not hearing exactly what she's saying, or she doesn't know how to say it, so I'll hear it correctly, or whatever. Yes, we were unprepared. We needed a bigger, more space than what we ended up having, and so the truck
Okay.
probably would have been better. So she wins that round, right? And moving is so stressful anyway.
It is. It's one.
And under other circumstances, because of a death in the family, that makes it even more because now you're finding things as you're moving things, and you're having memories of the departed and stuff. So yeah, the
Yeah.
two tire blowouts. One was at you know 8 o'clock at night. The next one was at like 2 o'clock in the morning or so. We didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning.
So you were changing tires in the dark?
No, we called the U-Haul and had them call somebody to come do it because they didn't have
Oh,
tires.
cool.
They didn't have tires on it. They didn't want you to do anything.
Wait,
They didn't want you to
so
call.
so you had one tire blowout, and you're like, shoot, we got to call U-Haul. You waited,
Yep.
they fixed the tire, and
We
then you
waited an
had
hour and a half.
another blowout.
30 minutes back on the road, we had a second blowout. Same site, same site. Oh, many times, and probably some F words, and probably some "How dare this happen to me? Don't you know I'm getting my life together? This isn't supposed to happen to me. I'm getting my shit together."
Doing good stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to help. God bless it.
And I
No,
had a
so
friend with me too. A buddy's selling his house in Dallas, and he's in the military still, and he's coming up to work in the Missouri area with the military. And his wife's a recruiter in the military too, so they're a military couple. But anyway, he wanted to go back down and see the house that he's selling. And I was driving through there, so I dropped him off at the house he was selling so he could do some working on it and cleaning on it. And then we picked him back up 3 days later on our way back up with the trailer. So he's riding with me too the whole time.
that's
And
awesome.
so that was probably helpful in some ways because I probably felt like I had to stay a little even killed in front of my friend, where maybe I would have went off the handle in front of my mom more,
We're
which is
alone.
horrible. Horrible. Maybe
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't know. I feel like it was better that I had somebody there, just because it helped balance everything out. Um, and it could reconfirm some of the things I'm thinking. Like when the tires were making the noises, and we're going, "That's like making a weird noise." Like, and maybe we'll stop soon and look at it, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, pop! It blows.
Yeah.
So, then you automatically don't feel completely surprised, even though it was a loud pop and the trailer shook pretty good. But it had two tires on each side, and the two tires on the right side looked like they were brand new. So this isn't. So like
So
we
this is
probably shouldn't even have left with those two tires on the other side. Anyway, my friend and I decided that after listening to music, sitting there being bored and stuff, one old '80s song came on where they used the word dweeb in it. And we're like,
dream.
we need to bring back the word dweeb. That's such a cool little diss word. And in perfect apropos fashion, I was a dweeb this weekend at the golf tournament.
So you did get home safe.
We got
You did
some
have a practice in patience and all that kind of
patience
stuff.
and
Two,
overcoming some challenges. You're
two
tired.
blowouts,
Yeah.
and now you're able to share that story and kind of laugh because it is
Sure.
just so silly, the whole. So I appreciate you having that sense of
Right. And
humor.
you and yeah, it's trying on your patience. It's trying on your mental, stabilities in some ways, and anxieties and fears and stuff. All of those things kind of come out. But
It's funny when God chooses to grow you because it's like not the convenient. It's like not now.
well, of course, in hindsight, that's what you could say. But you can't say that during the minute because you're too frustrated. You can't, what was that act? What was that thing we said a couple weeks back? Boiling water.
Yeah, you can't see your reflection in boiling
You can't
water.
see your reflection in the boiling water. You got to let the waters calm down, and then you can see your reflections in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just all it was. It was a couple series of those boiling moments where you just had to, let a little time go by. It calms down, and then you get the job done. She's moved in. She's having fun. Now the next job is to find a car for her. So we're looking for cars, and she's doing some car searching on her own. So that'll be the next challenge there. But
Cool. Well,
she's moved
congratulations.
in. She's around her
Yeah.
friends. She's back at her hometown area, so she's more comfortable. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And the next
It's a
chapter
big
of her
deal.
life. Next chapter of her life gets to start now. We've talked about that a lot too.
That's awesome.
So then fast forward to the real challenging story that I have to share.
All right, tell me about it. Tell me about it, because I kind of kept myself a little in the dark. Yes, I wanted to
Yes.
be, like
You're
in your
very
corner.
supportive, brother. You're very supportive. I appreciate all the little tidbits. In fact, it was probably irresponsible because you probably started making me feel too good.
Uh,
I'm
I
playing a
was
victim
worried.
card. I'm playing a victim card here. It's your fault.
Well,
I
when
have an
like
allergy to
something
golf.
you can give like too much information to someone who's in preparation, and then like you like realize, oh, did I just fuck with their head? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't
Well, it
want
turns out
to,
I
but
can do plenty of that on my own. So this is the episode now where we can get all the exes can come and listen to it, and anybody who doesn't really like me that I used to work with or
hey, now,
for
no,
or
no, no, no.
over
This
anything
is a
like because
great
this is going to be a
story.
good. I got to talk about how tormented I was.
This, this is a great story, and you're turning something that potentially could drive you to spend a week in the basement.
Sure,
And
sure, absolutely.
you're already
Already
on
ready to
here gonna
talk about it.
share it. We're gonna rip that
Yeah.
band-aid off, and it's gonna be so great for everyone to hear. So
And that's the motivation for all this is talking about it so much during the weeks that we talk about it with other people, with each other, with your story. Now this is something that just happened in the middle of us doing recordings, where it's like, why not share this? This is perfect. This is exactly what we're talking about. You're going to have bad days. It's not always about being shot in the face or going to war or anything like that. Now, obviously, traumas are going to be there forever, and traumas come back really easily. That's something else I kind of figured out with all of this, because this was okay. So let's set it up. If it was it was a tournament in Columbia, Missouri, from Missouri State tournament, Missouri State golf tournament did it or whatever.
Let's go a little bit farther back. So we've been talking about golf a lot, and recently you've been involved in a league here
Yes.
in St. Louis, and it has to do with
I've probably
veterans
playing
and
a
stuff
lot
like
more
that.
the last 2 years. The last 2 years,
A
I've been playing
lot more.
a lot more lessons, getting things together, starting to have things click, starting to feel like I'm playing a little bit better. Never really feeling like I'm ready to go pro or anything like that. But I wanted to do an official tournament just to see what it's kind of like. I knew it'd be tough. I knew it'd be challenging. Like I said, no
Right.
delusions of grandeur that I was coming in there to win it or anything like that. Last place, I'd be happy with last place, and 5 strokes away from whoever's in second to last. Something like that would have been just the perfect win, just as long as I make it through the day, because I knew it'd be challenging.
Yeah. And you had to
I
sign
haven't
up.
pushed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
and
had
I
to
didn't.
step up to the plate, sign up, put in your entry
Right,
fee,
right.
whatever it was, big or small, but you actually
Yeah,
had to.
it
This
wasn't too
was
bad.
new.
It was $200 for 2 days of golf at a nice country club. That's how I had it in my mind. Why not? $200.
Right.
I mean, I could pay $200 for 2 rounds of golf easily. Plus, I get practice balls. I get experience with the rules, new players, experience with myself and my mental game. I get to really
Yeah.
push that because I haven't really been able to push that. I haven't really got to test that. Playing with the league was sort of like that because I was playing with strangers too. But this was just another step in pressure zones, and I knew that, and I wanted that.
Yeah.
Man, be careful what you ask for though,
All right. So
because
you.
it come on to me pretty quick. Though I had great warm up sessions, I was doing good with puttings, with chippings, with the driving range. I got there really early, a couple hours early. Got some warm up time in, got some relaxation time in the car, chugging water, taking my vitamins, just trying to be relaxed and ready to go. My tee time was at 12:20. I get up. I'm nervous as all get out, of course, and I nail a beautiful drive right down the center of the fairway. Oh, by the way, hole number one was 550-yard par five.
I like it. I
That's
saw
the
that on the
first hole.
scorecard.
550-yard par five to start a 2-day tournament.
What tees were you playing from? Whoa! So you're playing from the tips.
And this is for the 50. This is for the 50 and up
Okay.
class too. I'm in the 50 up class. I'm not in the open class, but I'm still playing top
Playing the
tees.
tips.
I mean, and they had the blacks. I think they had the blacks move back further than they normally do, even because they were only 5 feet away from the goals. They
Really?
were right there.
Yeah.
But my first lesson. Well, first off, I said I wasn't going to tell anybody I'd never been in a tournament before. Just go play. Just don't make it worse by calling attention to yourself. Now I had to nix that right away. Tell everybody I was playing with it was my first time, so I might not know some of the rules. Please feel free to correct me when needed. So that's probably one of my
First
first
time.
mistakes. That's probably my first. I probably should have just been more confident and whatever. But no, they were very nice and accommodating. You're gonna love it. Don't worry about it. Just relax. Concentrate on the ball. Blah blah blah. All the things you're supposed to say. I don't think they did anything wrong. But there was a time in it where my anxiety got so bad it felt like I was being tormented by them in a way, even though I know that they weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what your mind does to you so badly, and I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
First shot, beautiful. Well, first off, the very first mistake I made, I teed up just in front of the black tee line. If you made an imaginary line between the two black markers, I was just in front of it, and apparently it needs to be like right on it or behind it. That's one rule that I didn't know. So I was just like 2 inches in front of it. And if I would have hit that ball, it would have been a penalty stroke or something like that because, I wasn't in the right spot. Correct me right away. So I pushed it back. All right, there's my first correction. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Little things like that, I'm not going to know every little detail about. I'm trying to learn them all. I know some of them. I'm not a complete idiot around golf. I grew up around golf. I do know some of the basic rules and things. I just haven't played this way before.
And when your adrenaline's up,
Oh, yeah,
or
all that stuff.
the
And your
nerves are
anxiety.
up, yeah, it's hard
Never
to
played
remember
this
the.
course before. I'd never played this course. I'd never played with these people before.
Mhm.
Anyway, like I said, first drive right down the middle. I think I outdrove everybody except for one guy who was just a little bit in front of me, but he was in the rough. I was the only one in the fairway. In the fairway. Beautiful view to the green. There's a couple bunkers on the right to try to avoid, so I should miss left, right? We talked about that.
Right.
I pull out my 3-wood. All right, 3-wood. Second shot in a tournament with a 3-wood. Now I'm really chancing it, right? I hit that baby beautifully. And it goes a good 200 yards almost, probably 200 yards, but it bounces right into the sand trap to the right. Now I'm still 120, 119 yards out from the green. I go to hit an 8-iron, thinking I needed to club up a little bit because I'm hitting out of sand, whatever.
Yeah.
Duff. It goes into the next sandbox right in front of me about 20 feet.
Well, at least they got out of that one. At least
Yeah,
they
I got
got
out.
out of
Yeah, there you go. Try to stay positive. You got out of that sand trap. You just went right into another one. So now I grab my 9. I go out of that one, and I fly the green to the back
Okay.
where there's a lot of grass, and I lose the ball.
And find it.
Couldn't find it.
Okay. So you had to take the drop.
Had to take the drop. Hole 1, par 5. I get an 8.
Okay. First tournament, that's not bad. That is not
But there's
bad.
also 1 lost ball, 2 sand
Yeah.
traps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played all right. 2 putts probably. But then the next hole, my drive wasn't quite as good, but it still went straight, and it was just off to the side by the cart path a little bit. Second shot, not too bad either. I put it on the green. But I hit like a three hybrid 3. I put it on the green, 180 yards out.
Nice.
Right on the side. I'm like, all right, we're gonna correct this. We're gonna get like a par on this one. We're gonna shake off the last hole. We're gonna be fine. No, I probably I 3-putted or something like that. And so now I'm not. Now I got like a 5 or a 6. I got 5. Hey, I'm working the right direction at least. Hole 3, I got a 6. It was another par 4, all over. Couple duffs, couple bad drive. Bad drive that went to a hazard, not OB, an unplayable hazard. So I learned about how I could do the 2 clubs no closer to the hole from where it went out. I knew that one already, but I got to actually do it.
Yeah,
And then,
that's cool.
They taught me, they were teaching me how to drop it from my knees.
Yeah.
All of that. So I'm learning things I kind of knew, but I'm going to see it in the practice. Like I said, they're being helpful, but I mean, all of a sudden my anxieties are getting the best of me because I duffed a little bit here, there, and duffed a little bit there, and then I was like, great. Now they're like yelling at me. I'm that guy now on the team that everybody's like, oh my God, we're slowing down. You need to pick it up, and it's all my fault pretty much because I'm the one that keeps losing balls.
Did they say anything though, or was that kind of like how?
Oh no, that's all internal. That's all internal.
internal.
That's all
Yeah.
internal. That's me. That's me doing it, making shit up, thinking somebody's thinking bad about you.
Yeah.
I mean, they may have a little bit, but they didn't overtly do anything bad. But here I am, on the redheaded stepchild that nobody likes right now. Why is this guy on our team? Why did you even do this?
Yeah.
Hole number 4, tee box number 4. I heel it. It goes 10 feet into grass and a creek area. It's lost. So now the rule is it's better to take the 1-stroke shot back on the tee box than to drop from where it went in there, or take 2 strokes.
Yeah,
You drop it up in the drop zone, whatever. So just hit it from the tee box again. All right. This is where it got excruciating. The next 10 minutes, 5 minutes was excruciating. I heeled 4 balls in the same spot. My fifth ball was also a heel, but at least it went 200 yards down the range, but it drifted to the left as a draw and went out of bounds. So now I am laying like 8 on a par 4 tee box, ready to tee up again. I looked at everybody and I said, I have to withdraw. I can't stay here any longer. I'm ready. Okay. I couldn't have left that golf course faster if there were shots being fired around me. If my life was in mortal danger. No, don't laugh. It's fine. We're good. We're good at laughing right now. At that moment, though, I had to go. I had to get out of there. I mean, it's the worst fears. I think the worst fear would have been to do that on the first hole. Would have been the worst fear. So it's not quite the worst fear. I had some success from the first hole, and that's why I started thinking to myself on the way home. I started forcing myself to try to think of some of the positives, going through some of the things that we talk about on here all the time. You have to try to pull some positive. So that's all I try to focus on. But man, in that moment, there was a lump in my throat. I couldn't breathe. I was panicked. Panicked. No, I don't recognize anybody. There's no familiar faces. There's no safe space. I've never been here before. There's nothing in that. I just got to get out of here now. And so I was like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I got my card back from the guy that was keeping my scores. Fortunately, I was the only one in the cart that I was in because the guy that I was going to pair up with brought his own cart and his own caddy. So I didn't have to worry about shifting ball bags around. So see, there's some pluses. That was
Yeah.
that right there might have been guardian angel looking out for me. No, pair him up with a guy that's going to bring his own golf cart and caddy. So whenever he freaks out and has to leave, he can just leave in his golf cart and not have to worry about anything else.
Maybe,
uh,
maybe.
right. Now that one just came to me as a thought. As trying to
No,
focus.
no, I
Because that would
like
have made
that.
it worse. That would have made it worse if I think, what would I have done? I would have had to take my bag off and walk back to the clubhouse, or would they have taken me and then came back, and that would have stirred play even more. Uh, ah,
So was it like
Product you hit.
you hit him, you were healing it, and then one went out of bounds, and then at that point it just
It
became
was
too
five
much.
balls in a row.
5 balls in a row. That's tough. And I'm
Five
proud of
yippee
you.
balls in a row. Five heel shots in a row that went to the left. Every shot went to the left. Just that fifth one, last one, actually went forward and then drifted off to the left. So I finally started to straighten it out some, but I was like, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. I cannot swing another club right now today anymore. I gotta go. And very embarrassed, very
Well, I think we
defeated.
all kind of know that feeling. You know what I mean? When it's just like you're in it. And that's really tough because in golf, when you're on the tee box, everything
Right.
sort of stops out of respect so that the person teeing off can hit. But for me, even if I'm on a golf course, and I know that the crew behind me or the group behind me is kind of like now they're waiting behind me, I'll feel nerves just from that. You know what I mean? So when you're actually on the tee box, actually in a tournament, I can only imagine like how stressful that can be and how hard it is to keep your mind from.
But here's the thing: whenever I do another one, which I will, I'll do another one. Probably
Yeah.
not. Maybe one more this year, near the end of the year, or something like that. Maybe I'll do one then, or maybe I'll wait till next year. I don't know exactly when. I will do another one, and right away I
Yeah.
know it'll be a little bit easier than this one in that regard, that mental regard. And then I just need to build up my confidence a little bit more. Like, I mean, I'm so many new things with my swing, the lessons from last year to this year. I haven't really had a chance to start establishing. Like,
Right.
I know this club is always good for 140 or whatever. So I'll do it again. It'll still be tough. But that's the other positive thing that I was thinking about on the way home. How many times have you watched? I've watched a lot of documentaries about like comedians and stuff. Steve Martin talked about it just in one of the more recent ones. I watched one of his documentaries. But they're always talking, and even musicians talk about it. Their first time in stages. They're almost always disastrous. Really, really big stages are almost always a disaster. So it's nothing abnormal here with anything that I went through and felt. People would feel that way the same way, if they were in my position, doing the same thing in the wrong time, and all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
Um, all the guys I played with that day, those three guys that I played with, probably their first time probably felt a little nervous. They probably had some of the nerves right then too. I mean, like I said, the guy with his own caddy kind of went off to the right with his first drive. He was probably kicking himself like that's not how I wanted to start. I didn't want to hit my first drive with a slice and be out of the fairway up to the right. You know,
Right.
so we all do it. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just, and he had a good caddy that kept telling me just focus on the ball. That needs to be your only concern right now is that ball. Like that's the level of concentration that I'm missing because I'm not thinking
Mhm.
about it, 'cause I'm so distracted by the outside influences. But to really play in a tournament well and play golf well, you just need to focus on that ball.
So I guess we need to practice that while I never really thought of, the one time, the one time, the one time I played really well, um, I was playing, I was playing from the Blues at Town Lake. I ended up playing with like a threesome, here in Georgia anyways, like a couple years ago, and I shot a 74. And what was really weird about that day, it's the best round I've ever played. I've got the ball on my wall, with a
There you go.
74 on it. And with the impartial judges, didn't lose any balls that day. Like that was the main thing. I didn't lose any balls, so my score showed up. And it's weird how you can like concentrate on weird things. So like if you're out on the golf course and you actually say, today, I'm not losing a ball, suddenly your game can change just by doing that because all you're doing is aiming for open space instead of aiming for, specific shots and all that kind of stuff. But what was really weird
I
is
need to
when
do
I
that one
played
again too. That's the one
when
I
I,
learned. I learned that one last year too from one of the guys over in at Scott Air Force Base when I was doing the PJ Hope program with their instructors there. They pick a day where you're not going to lose a ball, or when you're playing by yourself and you don't have a lot of people around you, play two balls, but always play the worst ball instead of the best ball.
yeah.
That was
And,
another
and,
one.
and what's weird is between holes that day, I don't know where it came from. No one really told me, but I started doing math in my head in between the holes. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any time to think, don't fuck this up. Because my big problem sometimes when I play is like, there's two ways to play in a lot of sports. There's you're playing to win, and then there's playing not to lose. And when I play to win, I'm all in. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like
you take
I'm
more
putting that.
chances.
Yeah.
You're going to hit the ball a little
Yeah. Yeah. You got
further,
to
a
play
little bit
smart
tighter
and all that kind of.
boxes.
Yeah. If I play not to lose, it's a totally different day. It's like, don't fuck up. Don't mess this shot up. Don't, you know what I mean? I have all these like things in my head and I almost have to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has nothing, and it's so hard. And I can't imagine what those pros do. You know what I mean? How they're able to stay so focused on, or how they're able to keep their mind in the right space. You know, it's a really a good
Well, there's a good.
example
It is a good
of like,
example of how much you need to concentrate on situations and problems to get through them, not just golf. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
It's a good analogy to it. But I don't think you're right. I don't think I really realized how much it takes until this weekend. Really, I guess. Like
I haven't
I
done
knew
it. I don't
conceptually,
know.
I knew conceptually, you need to be really
That's all I'm
focused.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
But now
but
you did it.
now I've got a little bit of toe wet. I got toe wet in the pool, and
Yeah.
it's not as easy as it first looked or thought or whatever. Not that I thought it was. I don't know. It's just a
Right.
different kind of hard than I was expecting. I guess
Right.
a little caught off guard by it.
And we're not supposed to be good at things we've never done.
Right,
That's
right,
the
right.
problem.
Absolutely. All,
You
all
know,
those things.
we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Like, you know, I got to do this well. I got to do that well. When I guess like the win was just, well, the win for sure is just getting out there. And like a huge win is when you kept hitting them off your heel. You kept trying. You know what I mean? Like you
That's
didn't quit right. You didn't quit right away. You kept trying. You know, and as and you went through that moment. That's a tough moment,
oh,
but
that's horrible.
you got through it.
It's horrible to
And
talk about. I'm like
and
sweating talking about it.
I'm sorry, but I appreciate you sharing it. And it's
Right,
fresh.
and that's the other positive thing to take out of this is to talk about it on this, and why not?
That
Um,
was the first thing you texted back because I texted you later in the day. I'm like, "How you feeling?" I didn't say how to go. It's how you feeling.
it's like he already knows that son of a bitch.
Well, I knew it was gonna be tough. It's a fucking 2 day event.
It's
But the
supposed to be
first thing,
tough, yeah.
the first thing you said was a lot of content. Got a lot of content.
Right?
I was like, awesome. He's already rounding it. You were already rounding it to like,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
okay,
That's a good way. That's a good way to put
how
it.
is this? How can we use this? How because it turns out every shitty moment is a great moment to like share because it puts you
That's
in that moment.
it's also part of the sphere of perspectives that I always try to bring up. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't have this completely locked down and ready to be written about in a book or whatever. But we keep talking about it. Maybe somebody else will. That's fine. And get out there. Get it out there. Uh, when you're going through something in the middle of the ball, the problem, you automatically are feeling this way. But the sooner you can start thinking about it from the other perspectives and trying to give it the positive spin, the more you get a better full view of the situation and the problem. And it can be something small like a stupid golf tournament, but it can be something big like childhood trauma or adult trauma or whatever. The sooner you can start thinking things from outside the box and outside your bubble, your spot, and other perspectives. It can help with your fights at work or with your spouse. It can help with kids, family, friends. It can help with yourself internally. Just try to think about it from other angles and what positive thing can I take out of this? This is negative, but what can I take it positive out of this?
Was there any point in that hole where you started thinking for them? Like what I'll do, unfortunately, is
before the second tee box.
you started thinking for them,
Yeah,
like what
I'm
they might.
looking for the ball at the back of the green on the first hole.
You're already thinking it, yeah.
This
That's
they're already this is gonna be the idiot we gotta wait on. This is the guy that doesn't know what to play. This is the guy that's out of his depth. This is the guy that shouldn't be here. And by the way,
so.
I'm gonna double down on all of this right now. I'm gonna double down on this right now. It was the Phil Cotton Invitational. Apparently, this is a pretty prestigious golf tournament, and I
Yeah,
didn't know anything about that before I got there too. And I just added more to the nerves to it. Like, oh man, I really did jump into the deep end on this one, and I
right.
probably should pick something. Like I'm looking through the list of tournaments, and near the end of the year, there's a 9-hole tournament in Chesterfield. Why don't I do that one? That might have should have been my
Boom.
first. That should have been my starting one. A little 9-hole tournament, one day, 9 holes.
Hey, you live and you learn. It was a 2-day tournament. Like the way I heard it when you were telling me is like, it's not a 4-day tournament. It's not a 3-day tournament. It's a 2-day tournament, which is pretty cool. Not often do you get to play 2 days in a row, even with your friends. You know what I mean? And like,
Right.
and what a better way to develop your skills. But I hate that I give away my power to people and to circumstances a lot of the time. I'll, I'll let how, I'll let it get big and then I'll respond to how big it is compared to what pros are able to do is like you said, focus on this ball with my little line on it. Everybody else should, and somehow they make everyone else go away. And even when they're fucking up, they don't implode on themselves. You know what I mean? They're
Oh,
not like,
another where I imploded on. Sorry, just came out
yeah,
of it. Have to throw this one out there too because this is another mistake. They talked about making marks on the balls and stuff, right? So I'm hitting a tireless four. He goes, well, none of us are hitting tireless four, but still go ahead and make a mark on your ball because you never know how many tireless forms might be out there. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's stupid. But I made a little mark anyway. And then on hole two, where I was finding one of my balls in the out of bounds, it was a tireless four. We did the drop, did the hit, finished out the hole, picked up my ball, started walking to the next tee box, looked, it didn't have the blue marker on it.
oh, what'd you do?
Pocketed it and kept playing, right? But
Move
that was in
along.
my mind. I was like going, wait a minute, how do I bring this up? What do I say? How do I? So now I'm going to hole four and I heal 5 in a row.
Right.
I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Now I'm not even gonna bring it up. But but that was another mistake that I made out there that I didn't catch right away. As I caught it right away, I was so focused on everything else going on that I didn't
Yeah.
do the right thing about it necessarily. Um, I mean, maybe I would have. I'd like to think I would have. If I kept
Yeah.
playing, I'd like to think I'd have been like, I need to bring something up. This happened on hole number three that I didn't realize until after the putt and we were walking to the hole four tee box. I picked up a Title Four that didn't have a blue dot on it, so it wasn't my ball. So that should be. I mean, is that a DQ? That's probably a DQ.
Um, I think you get a hold of the officials and they just go from there. You might
Yeah.
get a penalty stroke, especially if you did it without understanding that you did. You know what I mean? You weren't
Yeah. Well, then I
actively.
have to also prove that at this point in time, I didn't.
That's
I
true.
didn't. I didn't say it during the tournament, so you could argue that I wasn't going to. Somebody could argue that I wasn't going to. I don't think I wasn't going to. I think I was going to tell somebody. I just hadn't quite processed that part yet. I was still processing it when all of a sudden I started healing shots, and then I
Yeah.
was like drowning and claustrophobic and mentally and emotionally, and had to get out of there. So
Yeah, like the situation got, or the pressure or whatever the anxiety, um, it got
it got
bigger.
to an overwhelming, uncontrollable point.
It did.
I completely lost control. Yeah, I was like, I have to go. That's the only, I don't think I can remember another time where I've really had a true flight response in something where I've had adrenaline dumps. I feel like it's always been a little either indifferent or I'll jump into action. Especially at work wearing a badge, it was definitely more of a jump into action than it was running away. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever really had a flight moment like this before. So the, maybe that was a little overwhelming as well. I don't know, because I had
Well,
no frame of reference on how to respond in this situation, where to
I think
go,
we
how to get myself out of it, who to look at, what to say, what to do. how to straighten it out.
Yeah.
And then it's like nothing but you don't belong here, you don't belong here, you don't belong here, you don't belong here. This is the wrong
I'm
time.
sorry,
Go,
buddy.
go, 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 go. You're out of your depth. Hey guys, I think I just need to withdraw. I'm out of my depth. Shook all their hands, traded my card with the guy that had my card. Went back to the clubhouse, gave to the official. Um, I lied to the official. I said I had an emergency call from home. I had to go home. Um, I probably should have said, I don't know what to say. I'm withdrawing. I don't know.
Now, you realize you were most likely not the only person who withdrew that day.
It's
It's
possible.
not it's not the first time,
It's not the
and
first
it
time
ain't
somebody
the
has.
last.
Right, right, right. Oh no, yeah. I'm in such. I'm in. I'm, no. I'm already through. I mean, like I'm already through some of the embarrassment of it. I'm telling it right now online to where millions of people could watch it if they wanted to. At least the tens of hundreds that we do.
And
Ones of tens that we.
you realize like you actually signed up for an event where you put yourself out there.
Right,
It
right.
was a risk.
These are
You
these
wanted
are
to
the
risk
these
act
are
like
the
that.
celebrations. These are the pluses. These are the positivities. I did put myself out there. I tried something. I set a goal. I went to it. I didn't achieve it. I failed it, but that's okay. I just now reset, reassess,
Right.
replan, and go tack another one later on. I just maybe not looking for one for next weekend. I'll be looking for one for 3 months from now, and maybe next year I'll try again. But
I just want to say that it's so awesome that you were in the arena, right? You're actually on the floor doing the thing, signed up for the task. For the longest time, I couldn't even get in the crowd. You got to understand how much balls it takes to actually get on the
well,
dance
yeah,
floor, get on the arena floor. Because
it could
I couldn't
it could
even,
be it could be kind of an assumed ignorance too. I mean, let's be honest here. I knew this was a possibility, but I wasn't willing to dwell on this possibility. And because I didn't dwell on this possibility, I removed the possibility of it being this bad out of it, and then that gave me the strength to go forward. But if I really focused on it, I would have psyched myself out. I got close to it. I would have psyched myself out and just not gone at all.
so
Uh,
you think if anything, by taking this risk, you've almost fast forwarded what you want to be doing this summer in golf?
Maybe.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you actually like, boom, all right, let's just jump off the cliff and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Compared to spending the whole summer being like, well, when am I going to jump? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of courage that goes into that. You actually got in there, you fought the good fight. It didn't work out this time, but you learned a lot from fucking doing it. Meanwhile, guys like me for the longest time couldn't even get to the arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you
I
can.
can't.
You have to decide to jump. Just jump. It
There you
might
go.
suck. It might suck, but just jump.
And I
The
appreciate it.
experience that you get afterwards, learning how inept you were or are on
Well,
some things, on some rules, some situations, mentally even. I mean, the mental reps that you go through on the golf course when you're by yourself or with your buddies is nothing compared to trying to go through these mental reps in that kind of situation. It is just apples to oranges.
'cause I
I don't
tried to
know that
think
there's
about,
anything you can do to really prepare for this on the course by yourself with your buddies. I don't know. We can
right.
try to focus on the ball more. We can try to focus. I don't think it's going to be replicable until you get to it. So you're just going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it multiple times, suck multiple times, and then slowly start getting better, or else just stop doing that and just enjoy the golf with your buddies. And so that's where I'm at right now. That's just trying to decide those two decisions. I don't know which way it's really going to go. And if it just is just play golf with your buddies, there's nothing wrong with that either because I'm still going to have fun. I'm still going to learn stuff. I'm still going to learn stuff about myself. I'm still going to, forget about the world problems and personal problems and just have the golf problems and have fun and get out there and exercise and all those things. It's still going to have positive benefits. So
And,
it's a win-win.
and exactly. There was nothing negative that actually happened. You know what I mean?
Well,
Besides
there,
maybe a
there
little.
were some negative feelings there for a second. Those are real feelings, but
Exactly. Yeah. Well said.
now I've scratched those feelings this time in this way. And when the feelings start coming back up again, if I go into the situation again, I'll hopefully respond a little bit differently and a little bit better.
And you'll be a little bit more callous to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It won't be
next time,
completely an unfamiliar spot this time. There will be some familiarity because I've gone through it a little bit before now. And that's
and
the goal in
imagine
life.
It's gonna be so
Everything.
funny, like when one of your kids come to you one day and they're like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but no way am I ready to do it." Blah 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 blah. Whatever it is, like a musician. I want to be a musician, but I don't want to be on stage. Blah 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 blah. You'd be able to look at them right in the face and be like, "I'd tell you what, the best thing to do is get out there, embarrass yourself, and then
Yeah.
build up from there,
Yeah.
because that gives you freedom." I mean, I don't see many other people out there talking about signing up for golf tournaments and it not going well, but still wanting to fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like this is growth. This is growth. This is like real world, like we're actually doing it. And what's funny is I saw this video recently. I think I sent it to you, but it explains living in the gap. And what happens is like usually you belong to like, you're hanging out with your friends and like everyone thinks alike, but then you might have an idea. Say, I'm going to do a podcast, or I'm going to join golf, or I'm going to start a company. I'm going to explore faith. I'm going to do all this. And there's a period of time between when you leave that group and when you arrive at your final destination where you live in this area where the people you came from don't understand where you're at because
Yeah.
you're actually feeling and thinking things above
Well,
where you
you
were.
don't understand where you're at. You too.
And a lot of people look at you cross-eyed until you get to that place and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I saw it the whole time for you." No, 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 no. Like I had to take this leap to get here without anyone telling me that it was the right thing or I should do it, or that they understand it. I just had to do it. And now that I'm doing it, it's because I'm doing it, I'm getting to a place that I didn't even know was there. You know what I mean? Like we first started this podcast, if we got 5 episodes out, that would be great. You know what I mean? I think that's what I was telling you about. We're releasing episode number 24 coming up here. And it's so weird how that's happened because I'm not looking back and looking at those episodes like, wow, those were great or blah, 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 blah. It's like it's transforming inside of me to looking ahead to what is this going to turn into compared to the thought of let's just do 5 and if it falls apart, it falls apart.
Well,
Do you
but
know what I mean?
we've also learned something during this process that's helped us as individuals and as a friendship. Us just getting together once a week and talking and BSing about life and things that happen to us, or doing it with other people. Now we have guests, has actually benefited us in our friendship. And
Sure.
so nobody can watch this, and I'll still want to do this because I feel like we are doing something good for ourselves. So anybody who
Absolutely.
watches it and gets something good out of it, then that's just a side benefit, icing on the cake, extra stuff, extra layers. Great too, don't get me wrong, but not the goal. The goal is I want to feel better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the main goal.
And what's cool is I want that for you, and I can
Right,
tell
right.
you want that for
Yeah,
me too.
the secondary goal is I want to help you.
Yeah, I
The
know.
third goal would be to help somebody else out there watching. But with
Yeah.
that first goal is all we really need. As long as you still have that first goal for yourself and I have that first goal for myself, this could continue and nobody can watch it and we'll be fine and happy. We'll still make them.
And now that I think about it, those are probably the moments where we went to go record an episode and we really didn't kind of want to because we kind of knew that this was now turning into like a game changer for ourselves. And so
Maybe.
when we were showing up, you have to show up honest. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, well this is bothering or
Yeah,
this happened.
early on, after the first season was even completely done, we had a couple times where one of us would text each other and like, I don't think I can do it today. Because I think we realized we had to have honesty. We had to be honest with ourselves. We had to be honest with each other, our feelings, our
Yeah,
thoughts, our actions, even the bad ones, even the embarrassing ones.
yeah,
Because it won't work if we don't.
right.
We won't hit that extra frequency of the authenticity frequency when you get the
Exactly.
good
If we were sharing like half truths, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like to kind of
and
get
people would
clicks
see
or
through
blah,
it.
blah, blah. It's not real. It doesn't benefit us. It's a facade. You know what I mean? But us being on here and just being like, these things are happening. We're working through it. I think a lot of times, especially guys like at our age, think that they're supposed to have everything sorted out, and that they're supposed to look a certain way and feel a certain way when I think just life, the whole process is growing up. It's not like you grow up when you're 18 and then become a man and move into the world. Like it's actually like you're just growing the whole time.
Should
The
always
whole
be growing. Should always
it
be learning.
should always be growing. Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes people cap themselves. They're like, I'm enough here, or I don't want to grow anymore.
Or
Like,
you get comfortable.
exactly. And I don't
You
want to
get
know
comfortable
where I'm
with your
growing.
career. You get comfortable with your relationships, friends and spouses, work and recreational, and you just get in a comfortable spot. You don't feel like you need to grow anymore because you're comfortable. You're happy. You're there.
I think that's when I get into the place I know I've been there before where I'm like, if I just hold this position, things in my life are good. You know what I mean? If I
Yeah.
just do these certain things every day, it
Yeah.
should keep the walls up. But it's almost like now I'm trying to take it from God and being like, well, I'm going to hold it together just how it is right here because I feel comfortable. When immediately God could be like, nope, just knock all that over and be like, that's not what it was meant for you to grow. It wasn't meant for you to stay. And you're like, oh, that sucks. I thought I was done, you know?
Well, that's what we get for
But
trying to think we know anything, right?
yeah, and I think what happens is when I feel that way, I put up an automatic block to new stuff too. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I'm good. I don't need any of this other stuff because it could
Yeah.
potentially shift my perspective. Maybe that's like a back, like in the back of the
Yeah.
brain, like I don't want to see this another way. Like I'm good. I'm tired.
If I see it another way, I might not be as happy as I am right now.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
almost by
I bet
putting a
there's something
limit
to it.
on it, yeah, like if by putting a limit on it, you're not allowing yourself to get to the next joy, like the next growth and the next joy, the next growth and that growth is actually the next moment that comes in that requires you to grow. And you don't push against it. You go, fine, I'll fucking adapt. And then you adapt, and then like you're able to look at someone else's situation and be like, hey, I've been through a situation like that. I don't know if this means anything, but I did one, two, three, walk away, and then maybe that helps that person. Like we said, they put a tool on their tool belt and
Yeah.
they grow from it. But man, I am so proud of you. I tell you what, getting out there and getting that done.
I'm only more. I'm happy and power. Praise be to God for giving me the strength to do it. I'm more proud of me for being honest and talking about it. To be truthful, like
I'm
I said, I
very
knew
proud.
I knew going into it. I didn't have any delusions of grandeur. I really didn't have that high expectations. I just tried to be positive and said I'm just going to go learn something about this, and I did. So mission was accomplished, and I got some good content to share with you today. So that
And
was
you're
good.
gonna, and I bet you come back a couple days from now and be like, you know what? And you're just gonna
Let's go
grow and you're
play.
gonna
Let's go
grow and
play.
you're gonna grow. And the
No, today
shift is
today was the first day by myself since because Julie went back to work. So now I'm gonna be by myself. I'm gonna get done with this with you, and I'm probably just gonna sit on the couch and lick my wounds the rest of the afternoon. But it's okay, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. Just to let it all settle, all of it
yeah,
settle now, so it can finally that book chapter can be closed, and I can open up the rest of the summer's chapters for whatever happens next.
exactly. Again, I am so proud of you not only for going out there and doing it, but for sharing it with me, sharing it with all of us. You know, it's a great moment for growth, although it stings right now. You know, what else could we ask for from God but to be actually sharing moments that matter compared to like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're actually showing your true self, and thank you for
And if
doing
it,
that.
and if it helps you, great. It helped me a little bit to talk about it, so that's good. And it helped you, that's great. And if one other person out there listening helps them, man, I couldn't ask for anything better from my pain and misery.
Yeah, you're awesome, man. You put it out there, really appreciate it. And next time you're out there, we got to make sure you have a Shit Creek Survivor shirt on you.
All right.
So, so basically, imagine that had you been wearing that shirt. Stories of resilience. And if anyone asks you, be like, "Yep, I'm building the story right now."
Apparently.
We'll put a nice, should it be a brown shirt? Yeah, it should probably be a brown shirt. Anyways,
I don't
you
know.
got stuff to
Do
do.
we really want to be out in the world and have road rage or like what if I would have thrown my clubs? I almost did. I was like so mad I wanted to throw my clubs, but I didn't.
So that's a win.
But I'd be
That's
wearing a shirt that said, exactly how to find me.
will hold you accountable.
Will it?
Actually, you could do anything, and no matter what, you can look at somebody and be like, rock bottom is a great place to build a foundation. Or just hit them with something like that. Like
People will be scared shitless of me.
exactly, you'd be a monster, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna turn you into a monster. Yeah, that just destroys golf. no matter how it goes. And then based on you,
Summer
I'm going to
ball.
build courage up enough to, because right now I don't have courage enough to join a tournament.
Hey, they have a I forget what they call it. It's not best ball because it's not scramble. It's just two. It's two people. You
Like
play your ball, I play my ball.
alternate ball. Yeah.
No, you play the whole hole. With your ball, I play the whole hole with my ball, and the best score is what we get.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So instead of leaning each other for shot to shot, we lean each other from hole to hole, basically. So like
You know,
if I have the bad hole, you have to have the good hole, and then if you have the bad hole, I have to have the good hole, and we can end up having a good score that way. That's a tournament that's coming up in 2 months too, up here in St. Louis area.
I'm
Just
more
throwing it
into
out there. Just throwing it out there.
like I'll literally sometimes be playing golf. It is not going well at all. And I have to basically take the score out of there and I start playing a game called the animal game. And the way the animal game works is if you hit
Uh,
a tree, you have the monkey. If you hit the cart path, you got the kangaroo. If you hit the water, you get the frog. And if you hit the sand, you get the camel. And whoever has the more animals at the end of the round loses. And you can obviously put a couple bucks on each animal if you want to and all that kind of stuff. But it is a great way to be like, the score doesn't even matter here. I just don't need to hit these hazards and collect these animals. You know,
right.
because you can have the worst score on a hole and
I feel
still not hit a hazard and all that kind of stuff, and you still win.
I feel
Like
like the golf cart path was an animal too.
it's a kangaroo. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you
Oh,
say that?
yeah, cart path, kangaroo.
I glazed right through it. I guess I don't know. I spaced out thinking about playing this game with you at one point in time, trying to remember
Yeah.
what all the animals were. That I didn't hear you say the animal that I was thinking of.
Yeah, cart path is a kangaroo because it kicks off there like a kangaroo. You got the frog hanging out in the water, you got the camel in the sand, and you got the monkey in the trees. So that's a good way to kind of play a little golf. And to anyone out there who's really just starting golf, who doesn't even have any idea how to walk out into a golf course, there are many par threes now, and we've talked about it before, but you can actually play with a soccer ball. And the only reason I bring
Yeah,
that up is
Tartitas.
yeah, it actually gets you out on the course and familiar with what a golf hole even looks like. Because it's one thing to see it on TV, and another thing to go out there, and sometimes clubs by themselves can seem intimidating. So I'm literally telling people that if they're scared to play golf, they should be playing soccer. You went out there and competed in a fucking tournament, my friend. You're a fucking badass.
A prestigious one at that.
A prestigious one. I
Apparently.
love it. Maybe there'll be some video.
Oh yay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It wasn't televised. And I
No.
looked at that course. It was really pretty. So you got to be out there. I don't think it's usually open to the public.
I saw four beautiful holes. That's for sure.
Now, I wonder if the next time you could get out to the course like a day early to play. Now, that being a
You
private
can.
course, that would you
I
can
could have. I could have went and played private on Friday and played privately, but I had some family coming to town to visit, and I wanted to hang out with them at the zoo and stuff, so I did that.
for sure.
And again, that was also a conscious decision because I feel like that wouldn't have made that big of a difference to the mental problems I was going to have.
Right.
It's
Okay.
one problem. Not knowing the course is a problem. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You can do better confidence in that stuff. But yeah, I knew the real struggle was going to be the mental game with the really strict rules and some of them that I don't really know for sure 100%. I knew vaguely that this would be how things like I knew vaguely the two uh, uh, club lengths away from the out of bound or from the hazard,
Yeah.
unplayable hazard. Um, I thought out of bounds and lost ball was two strokes. They said it was only one. It's just some of those little things. I knew that was going to be the biggest challenge.
Right.
And then duffing it and not getting in my head was going to be the second biggest challenge, which I did right away. That's one other thing that I remember thinking too. After that first shot, that first drive, right down the middle, perfect. I felt like a little sense of relief. Okay, yeah, good. I was so worried I was going to top this very first drive and it was just going to dribble down by the ladies' tee. You know,
That's what I would
uh,
have done.
that was my first fear that I thought was going to happen. And it didn't happen. I hit it. Great. Beautiful shot. Right in the middle of the fairway. And I felt relief. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have said, okay, that's just one shot. You got 18 more of those today. Take your time, take your breath, play your game. Don't lose it. Come on, let's go. If I would have stayed there instead of, oh, yeah, all right, whew, I got that one out of the way. I didn't do bad there. Could it be that simple? Or
Maybe.
that,
I like how
or
you're
that, or
looking
that
back at it.
difficult? Or that difficult, I guess, in a way, however you want to put it.
I like how you're looking at it with kind of like what ifs instead of like I shoulda. If
Yeah.
not for this, it's like, well, maybe next time, blah blah blah. That's actually like finding something to do compared to had I not done this and I had not done this. Like you appear to be looking at it very like, okay. And hindsight is 2020, so I guess maybe we should use it, but you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's
There's a balance there. We've said that sometimes on this program ourselves. Like I've heard it from there's a famous speaker that says it. And I don't want to mess his name up right now because he's on my Facebook page. I've shared his videos before. You can't change the past. You can't because it happened the way it happened. It wasn't supposed to happen any other way because it didn't. Bam, end of story. But there were some failures there that I can learn lessons from. And how I approached my game after that first shot was be my first example of, ooh, maybe that was where I could have done something differently for the
what we
next
should do
time.
is
For the next time.
we should play together and basically harass one another the whole time. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I get on the tee box, you start going, "You're terrible. You're terrible. You're gonna lose. You're gonna
Ah,
lose. You're
hey, you know
terrible.
what?
You're
You know
terrible."
what? There might be onto something there because I remember some really good firearms training we always had, like lights going, like police lights going, sirens going off. One training scenario we had the video recording of the embassy being raided, and I don't remember now. It was a while back, but it had live audio of like Marines talking to each other where how to flank and where the firing's coming from and who's down and who needs medevac and where to move to next and all this stuff. Why you hear the shots going off in the background and
Right.
and it gets your adrenaline going while you're shooting to try to get you to try to get that adrenaline dump to try to get that variable that you can't get.
Right.
You're never going to actually get it because it's not a real situation. But by doing these extra sensory overloads, it
Yeah.
can replicate it about as best you can with it not being an actual situation. And it's better than just sitting there and putting your magazine on the thing and loading the next one and bang, 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 and setting. It
Yeah.
drives me crazy. But anyway, so that could be very similar to that. Yes, let's do some stimulus. Let's do some. Oh, really? You think you can hit your driver that far? Just like cynicism to each other the whole time? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Or
We
just
we got to get to a
because
place.
I don't
I
I don't know
know.
about
I know
you,
you
but I'm
do.
gonna sound funny some of the times I say that to you. I'm probably gonna come off sounding funny and sarcastic, and it might make you laugh more than
And that could break that sphere or that barrier.
it can still
We
break the
we
barrier.
we got to get to that place where just like instead of why me, try me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you think I'm gonna fuck this up? Watch this. You know what I mean? And that's when you're playing to win. Because even if you fuck it up, you're like, whatever, I fucking went at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we need to get back to that place where we're like,
The eye
oh
of the
no,
tiger.
eye of the tiger.
Put
I
on some
stand on this. This is my
Sly
best.
Stallone and
We're bringing it back. We are bringing back the 80s. We're going to have 80s songs, saxophone in the background, fucking rock and roll, like,
yeah, and Dweeb. We're bringing Dweeb back from the '80s too, right?
dweeb.
Dweeb.
I'll be a dweeb. This is great. Dweeb's like a nerd, right? Dweeb. Like, yeah,
It
don't
was
be a
the
dweeb.
it was the Offspring song where he's like, late at night and knock on my door. She's drunk again, looking to score. I know I should say no, but it's kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
hard when she's ready to go. He calls himself
That's
a
my
dweeb in
favorite.
there. And my buddy and I, Brandon and I, looked at each other and we're like, dweeb, that's a cool word. Why did that not stick around? I mean, nerd stuck around. People still say nerd every once in a
Dweeb.
while. Why did dweeb not? Say that's a better sounding word than nerd.
I need to look up. We should look
Dweeb.
up what dweeb actually means. But
Actually, yes, we
my
probably should because if there's some hidden meaning about it being anything like in a protected class, we're gonna get canceled.
I don't even know how to spell it. Dweeb.
DWEE. Dweeb. That's how I would spell it.
Dweeb.
Just a sucker with no self-esteem. Oh, way.
Oh, all right. So dweeb is an informal and often disapproving slang term used to describe a person who is considered socially awkward, unstylish, lacking of
And really bad at
confidence.
golf. See,
Yep,
it
it
was a
says it
dweeb.
right here. Really bad at golf. All right, so yeah, so right here. All right, buddy. Well, we are both dweebs. We both, we're both learning as we
We're
go.
all idiots sometimes. I know. That's the
And
point.
you had the courage to share with us. I really, really appreciate it. That's another Shit Creek story. Boom. You got out of it. You didn't die. You're here sharing it, and you're growing along the way. I guess I should sign up for something so I can get socially awkward and
Do
put
it.
another story out there.
Do it.
Well done, sir. Until next time, love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Good one.
All right, bye, buddy.
Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. If you got any value out of today's episode, please like, subscribe, and if you're feeling extra generous, leave a comment and share. Love you guys.